Hi, I'm Justin Keay, Field Specialist in Horticulture with MU Extension. I'm joined by my colleague, Patrick Byers.
Hey,
Patrick, I understand that K-State has a Morel mushroom identification class that folks in Missouri might be interested to hear more about.
yeah, I mean, what is better than Morels fresh picked in the spring? And actually, there is interest in wild harvest and Morels that can then be sold at our farmers markets and other outlets in Missouri. But before that can be done and done legally, it's important that foragers understand the regulations and the opportunities to gain information on how to safely harvest and identify Morel mushrooms.
Awesome. And so this class will kind of give people the information and empower them to be able to do that appropriately, harvest safe mushrooms, and kind of know what they need to know to be safe out there in the woods.
It will indeed. This training was developed with our colleagues at Kansas State University, but it's been accepted by the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services as satisfying the requirements. And so, Justin, let's jump in and talk a little bit more about the class.
So Patrick, I understand there's Morels and then there's Morel lookalikes.
And this is an important distinction, Justin. Morels, of course, are found across Missouri. They're a prime mushroom for foraging in the spring. And by the way, if any of our listeners know a good spot to pick Morels, please send me the exact GPS coordinates and the best time to hunt in that area, and I'll be sure to keep that secret. But at any rate, Morels are definitely a mushroom of interest, and there is a good market for wild harvested Morels. But there are mushrooms that look a lot like Morels, and we can see an example here in the center of this slide. That's actually a gyrometra, which is a mushroom that is mildly to dangerously poisonous, and it can be mistaken for Morel. And because of a situation such as this, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services has made it a requirement that the person harvesting Morels be trained in the identification of Morels. And this is obviously to safeguard anyone who may be purchasing wild harvested Morels.
Well, that's all great, Patrick. Can you give us some more details on this class?
Sure. The class will walk you through, first of all, the identification of Morels. And there's several Morel species found in Missouri, so not all Morels look alike, but they do share common characteristics, and you'll learn what those are. And then the remainder of the class will focus on Morel lookalikes, and it will help you understand which mushrooms look like Morels, how to tell them apart, and again, how to avoid picking those mushrooms that could potentially make people ill. And at the conclusion of the class, you will receive a certificate. And that certificate, of course, is the proof that you attended the class and you understand the important distinctions between Morels and Morel mushroom lookalikes.
That's really great. So is this something, a class that anybody in the state can attend?
Yes, this class can be attended by anyone in the state. And as I mentioned earlier, the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services has issued a ruling that this class will satisfy the requirements. And I'll read the exact wording. This Morel mushroom identification course offered by Kansas State University satisfies the rules in the current Missouri State Food Code, requiring a wild mushroom identification expert to inspect and verify the safety of harvested Morels. This course will enable attendees to sell wild harvested Morels or verify their safety for others selling wild harvested Morels. Now, Missouri is a home rule state, so it's important to check with your local health department before selling Morels, as they may have different requirements related to selling wild harvested mushrooms. And those who attend this course will receive a certificate of completion that can be presented to a local health department officials to help them understand that the person who's attended the workshop understands the identification of Morels.
So I understand that there's two class dates that people can attend for this.
Yes, this is a virtual class. It's presented online via Zoom, and it's offered by our colleagues in Kansas State University. The two dates, March 15th and March 16th. The March 15th class is during the day, and the 16th class on March 16th is an evening class. So two convenient times to take the class. And the registration for the class, which is a free class, is available through Kansas State University at the website on the screen. So again, encourage anyone who is interested in harvesting and marketing wild harvested morels to attend this class to satisfy the Missouri Department of Health requirements.
And yeah, we'll make sure to drop that link in the YouTube comments so people can register. So I know we're talking about selling morels here, and I understand that on a lot of Missouri public lands, you can harvest morels for personal use. I mean, it's always important to check with the agency that manages that land, but what about if folks are harvesting to sell morel mushrooms?
Well, my understanding, Justin, is that a person harvesting morels on public lands cannot sell those morels. Now, certainly mushrooms harvested off of private lands, assuming that you have the permission of the landowner, can be harvested and sold.
Well, thanks for coming and sharing all this information with the class about us, Patrick. And I understand that you yourself have identified one of the most productive patches of morels in the state of Missouri, and that you're going to share that with our viewers.
Oh my gosh, yes, Justin. You can harvest them by the 5-gallon bucket at this particular site. And this site is located at